Hello everyone, I am Oracle Unicorn and welcome to Shaman Messages. Please keep in mind this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Put some things in your back pocket. You never know what you might need for later when it comes to future downloads. And connecting the pieces of your puzzle with the bigger picture when it comes to situations in life that will better help you to make more clear and certain decisions about the direction you would like to take your life and manifest an outcome of emotional fulfillment. Please check your Venus, Moon, and Rising signs, as those will also help you to be able to piece the story together for you as well. Especially if this doesn't resonate with you, maybe those will help you more when it comes to your situation as of right now, or a few weeks from now, or with certain realizations of the past. Okay. And coming to conclusions. That's like taking the past, present, and future events and understandings and downloads and kind of a spiritual essence of your heart, mind, and emotional factor within how you would like to create things to be about when it comes to your life. Coming into your own sense of transformation and flying for it with a clear sense of communication to those around you, and also when it comes to clear sense of communication about your transformation with yourself.
Space unicorn soaring through the stars.
Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so with all that said, this is a weekly reading for Scorpio, by the way. And if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and sharing, that would greatly help improve the channel. And if you would like a personal reading from me to better hone in more on what specific questions you would like when it comes to your situation and scenarios, the information is in the description box below as well, and you can book a private reading with me. Alright, so as we get on with the reading for Scorpio, what the messages do we have for our dear Scorpios? You're gracefully bringing yourself in the balance of the fates, and having strength to literally have trust that you are going to know, you are going to be clear about the direction and certain choices that will be healthy for you to make. It just takes more illumination, because you do have illumination, more illumination, interpretation with yourself about your transformation within, on being clear with yourself about what choice would be more emotionally fulfilling for you, and help you to really create the life you really want to create and bring in, manifest into your life. And it's asking you to go into also cleansing within this, kind of like knowing what is not healthy for you. And what I have figured out is how to handle those situations that is not necessarily healthy for you, and people, and communication with those people. Okay, you can go through a sense of grace through it, a sense of balance and cleaning with it, because you do have grace that is on top of balance and cleansing. So it's laid out like this, okay? Wow. And the magic in purifying this, because in having extreme confidence, you can do this because you do have the confidence card underneath that, and it grants you mastery with understanding, alchemically changing and shifting things to really give a sense of direction with seeing the natural laws in balance with how you handle the way you communicate with what is being interpreted, and having strength through the illumination of the cleansing effects within this. Okay? And it purifies, it energetically, chemically purifies the situation, and levels up your healing in another way. So instead of kind of like being kind of like a king of swords or a queen of swords, some of the meaning of these cards are really shifting and changing into a bunch of different other things. So I'm seeing, like, you know, having non-emotional cut communication and cutting these people out of your life, and just being like, oh, y'all are not healthy for me, you're toxic, so I'm just going to clear cut communication, clear cut you out of my life. I have found out that way of going about things with people have still brought them back in my life without me really, like, well, with, I'm going to change that, you guys, with me even having full intent and putting all the energy and trying to keep these people out of my life, some of them doesn't necessarily work. It's like I end up being brought back into that position to understand and see within myself how to handle this in a different way, to bring it into a more positive win-win outcome. And I was like, well, how the hell am I going to do that when this person keeps going into their, you know, harsh sense of dealing with me, no matter how much I'm trying to have complete strength into really trying to keep the balance within myself. Well, I've figured out, which is what I feel this transformation and communication thing is, because I have Scorpio and Pluto. So I find this very interesting with that being such a dark planet, and I actually have that ruling zodiac on that planet, which makes it interesting why I feel my sense of depth is not only just deep because of being an Aquarius with the intellect, but it also brings the intellect and the sense of emotion extremely deeper. So I went extremely deep down into the essence of this well. Why this kept happening. That no matter what I tried to look at into healing, that it was weaved into my freaking fates to keep happening. Okay? Especially when it comes to, yeah, I want to be in my son's life, but somehow I kind of like flow, okay? Have a sense of grace and flow back into kind of positions to where, like, I'm ended up like to like help, and also kind of like it works for me to be able to spend more time with my son, because half the time I usually don't know when I'm going to be able to see him. The foundation and money and transportation issues kind of comes into play, which I keep working on. Like, I end up staying. I end up like kind of like stay a few weeks, sometimes almost to a month and a half. And it gets hard because illumination of things that needs cleansing, that is asking to be put into balance, comes to the surface. Because obviously there's a reason why me and my son's father is not back together, right? So obviously there's some kind of like pain thing that happened between the two of us, right? And a lot of the times we don't like to get into that, or we have different views about things that happens with that, so we just kind of like don't even go there. I feel like when it comes to my own sense of healing, and since I'm going through these cycles of really completely coming into a full illumination of healing and interpretation of how I'm working this transformation of healing with communication, and that's weaved into your magic of purification of yourself, asking you to have strength through this. So it gives you more confidence with yourself and your sense of direction and understanding what it is you're looking for. Because I still get confused about, okay, like what is it do I want in a relationship, and why do I keep going through certain things when it comes to red flag things, and kind of like when it comes to really trying to connect with someone in a communicative level. And going through these situations, it's like a never-ending cycle of showing you why, because you've been through these things and you can look in the past of what happened, what you were subconsciously going through. Man, Scorpios, y'all really get me going deep, don't you? What you're going through. I haven't even brought out my other deck. What y'all were going through in your patterns, subconsciously, emotionally, because of your past, possibly when it has to deal with your parents. So that kind of shifted this cycle in when it comes to your love and relationships. So I feel like it's asking you to go into those steps and kind of like look at the past and what is now and what is constantly being repeated, and to go about it. Yeah, that they may be a toxic issue in your life, but how can you go about this in a different way to where you're bringing, one, a sense of healing, but if it flares up again and you start combating with each other, to be personally honest, if you're still stuck in the situation that you have to keep dealing with this person, the best option I've noticed is to literally like sew your mouth shut and walk away for a minute, so that they don't take you out of your own peace and element, because you're gonna have to walk back in the situation, and you don't want to kind of shift back on yourself and be like, well, crap, you know, they took me out of my own peace again, like, it's them, you know. And it's like, no, somehow you weren't essentially strong enough and balanced enough to understand what the hell is going on for you to just stay in your own peace and know when to walk away, or for that time and moment until it's needed to be brought up again, and understanding how to communicatively be able to have the strength and the understanding to illuminate how to bring it up with its sense of cleansing and purification, so that you don't have to constantly freaking go through this issue or constantly go through a combative issue with this person, even if they obviously are not healed enough and want to keep combating with you. Somehow it's like you're gaining the confidence and purification and mastery. Wow, you got opportunity under there too. That's impressive. This is giving you this opportunity and mastery and how to be able to purify these kind of issues, and having confidence in yourself to be able to magically shift this, because that's how you're actually going to be able to have this sense of strength and balance, kind of have the upper hand and control in this. But at the same time, to have mastery in this, you're going to have a sense of compassionate communication and cleansing with grace, that they're going to feel kind of like they have the upper hand, but yet speechless too, because it's like they're not getting the reactions that they want out of you. And so you're literally, if you're strong enough to really have the sense of confidence in this and have a secure sense of balance in this, you're not going to have to walk away. And that's what's really going to illuminate the cleansing of yourself when it comes to triggers. You're not going to walk away. If they're tripping out, they're not going to pull this reaction out of you, because you're going to understand and transmute yourself and how to be able to have this peace and calming and understanding where they're coming from and how they're being triggered, okay? So you're really not going to want to walk away. You're going to sit there and take it. And to be truthfully honest, it's going to feel like your boundaries are being crossed, but you're actually standing firm within your boundaries of transmutating illumination out of this, so that you can understand how to shift things in a purification level. So it's at time for a level of certain healing that is your own boundaries being crossed, but for a higher level of a sense of grace and balance, this is actually not your boundaries being crossed at all. This is actually granting you more mastery upon your own self when it comes to your emotions. And you're going to actually, not that you wish for this to come in, but it's like you're going to be like, yeah, give me that freaking tower moment, you know? And then it's going to be like, you know, okay, here it is. Slowly you're going to alchemically with your brain and yourself analyze without too much analyzation. You're going to be like, okay, stay calm, that's a trigger, holy shit, it's not them, it's not me with them, it's a trigger from something that is painful from your childhood, more likely, or from another relationship, more likely, or possibly from a past relationship with them, like kind of like would be in my case. But then it's like you shift into that newfound grace of balance and cleansing, that it's definitely more deeper rooted than you and them. It's within certain triggers of their own pains of their past that's being shifted on this, because it's like a subconscious spiritual asking to be healed, because it's coming to you because you're the stronger one, to alchemically shift this energy. Like, okay, Scorpios, y'all are so deep and emotionally so deep. It's like you've become a transcendent shifter of emotional energy and healing of illumination and bringing cleansing and balance and purification to anyone you come in contact with. Whew, a mouthful, okay? So I feel like this is why the Strength card's here. Greatly, okay? Wow, a whole reading on just these cards. And that's going to give you that like ugly duckling, illuminated light, black sheep feel out of this whole thing. Because it's going to feel as if this goes against every healing aspect of teaching that you learned. Or if you're one of those that actually go through a bunch of readings when it comes to YouTube, card readings, there's some aspects in this that's going to completely contradict all the teachings in that, okay? And that's an extreme transformation. I feel not even from, it's like shifting from literally alchemically from a butterfly to a moth. Being your own ancestral shifter, with a sense of communication and understanding the weave of fate, as in a structure of purifying the cleansing of illumination within the balance of these interpretations that is magically, alchemically shifting from feeling as if you're this white, graceful, swan. That's the word I was looking for. And it's right there, duh, in front of me. From this white swan into a black swan. Like, my other deck has a black unicorn on it. And it is the card of strength. That going through this is going to grant you more strength. I don't feel that this is a sense that it's going to give you more strength. You're practicing more strength into this, but bringing more balance into an understanding of your own hidden unconscious powers within you. That you are being extensionally leveled up, okay? Leveled up on a whole nother way that it's backwards. You're going from a white swan to a freaking black swan. And it's almost like with that is the purification of the cleansing. And it's for me, that is so freaking crazy because it is literally the epitome and the full definition of a Scorpio when it comes to the death card. Okay? But this is like a reverse death. Instead of coming out of the depths and going into a brighter sense of essence, you kind of are, but you're shifting the contradictional level of bringing an illumination to purification of a cleansing into a higher essence of healing. And it's bringing you to a new level of fates being played in your favor. Even though it'll feel like more difficulties and difficult times are being brought to you, it's like you're transforming your thinking of that to being like, actually, I'm being favored, and shifting to a higher essence of a level that once mastery hits this, your life is going to shift into, I feel, from a rose, this is like visions what I'm seeing, from a rose to a glass or a crystal ball, not glass, okay, from a glass rose, like undying rose, to a crystal ball, like you becoming the crystal ball of just like, you know how what I'm seeing is like the deepest layers of the sea has the most craziest creatures that literally light up because it's so deep that it's just pure black down there. It's just the midst of the abyss because the sun can't hit that deep. So it's like you literally transformed from the element of being the sun to a Scorpio that doesn't have a stinger, but it's a ball of light. A Scorpio with a ball of light. And like, this is a massive like new shift you're bringing in, okay? I feel the condor. Like, this is the level of the condor when it comes to my winged enchantment deck. This is like literally the epitome of the embodiment of the Death Shaman. I feel as like you're shifting into your own mastery with yourself of lessons of what the Death Shaman brings to a table. And I feel as if you are really purifying and rooting, like deeply rooting, like thick roots, like deeply rooting yourself into the essence of a very strong tree that is imprinted of the Death Shaman. This could be very few of you that are going to end up seeing this reading, but for those of you that, when it comes to purifying and how, when it comes to your communication, when it comes to difficult toxic like people that keep being brought back into your life, I feel that level is definitely for y'all, but it's helping you to understand what these other people that literally hit this higher state can truly actually help you with, and what and how they help you. So it's very beautiful. I am very intrigued whenever I hit Scorpio's energy every time. Especially since how I don't have it in my rising, I don't have it in my moon, and I don't have it in my Venus. I literally only have it once or twice in my chart, and it is rooted in Pluto. I don't know what house that is. Very deep, Scorpio. I feel like this is a very, it's such an extreme shift for you. I mean, you're not going to get it right the first few times that you maybe go into altercations. It will send a trigger into you, and it will bring you to a sense of, okay, yeah, I see exactly what's going on. And then the next few times after that, you'll be able to stop yourself, but you'll still get triggered. And then the next few times after that, you will no longer get triggered, and that's when you know that place and that essence in your heart is truly healed, is actually healed, when it's no longer like bringing a sense of trigger, like someone says something and you're in this altercation, you're just like, okay, that's a trigger. That's something that's still rooted in your heart that is asking to be ran through when it comes to your emotions and your past of things that happened in your childhood. Like, what memories does that bring up as to why it's triggering you? Or if it's new trauma, what memories is that bringing up as to why it's triggering you? Run through it. Run through it again. And if it brings more pain, keep getting, keep transmuting it, illuminating it, the light upon it, cleanse it. Why was this that happened? Why am I still being triggered through it? What is it that is being brought to the table to be looked at, to transmute it with a sense of magic? Because I saw that, it kept staring at me. With a sense of magic, bringing you to the higher essence of listening to your own truth within this matter instead of subsiding it. What about within this situation is bringing untrust? What about, and it's not necessarily that it may be the situation, but it's a past trigger as to why that may be triggering within you. and why it's asking you to have more communication, and how it's bringing you more transformation into this grace period of communication with yourself and your own sense of transmuting healing, okay? And will help you come into that sense of balance, will help you to bring you more balance into this communication, and that why and how it was destined to happen for you and within this whole thing, because you could be bringing up things within them that they're transmuting with themselves that is needing to be healed, that is not, has nothing to do with you, but it's a trigger that is triggering them, making them to have to think about things of the past that maybe happened to them, that is asking to be healed more. And I feel that's what y'all are like. I see two peacocks that are flaring up their feathers, and they're not necessarily fighting, but they are shaking their feathers in a sense of like alchemical communication and transmutations between the two, for a spiritually a spiritual, is so hard to find the words to this. It's like it's almost like this broke down mirroring energy, okay? This is no longer mirroring energy anymore. Both of y'all are sitting there like this, like literally shifting and sending, triggering for y'all both to come into a healing of connective energy with your guides, spirits, and the fates of making y'all's own web. It's like this is the shake of making y'all's own web, but you're sending negative energy to each other just so that there's nothing missed, so that there's nothing. It's like you're doing it without harshness, though. It's like you're lightly imprinting it, because y'all it's like y'all aren't battling against each other. It's like you are flaring up, both of you are flaring up to be like, these are what I still have to heal. Okay, here, it on a 5D level. This is crazy. The imagery I'm getting. This is star-crossed lover healing. I tell you what. Because even underneath my phone, oh, and we have the elephant there, okay? And we have the elephant there. So, not only are y'all star-crossed connecting and uniting in like the 5D world of the unknown, the spiritual, the telekinetic communication, but you are shaman healing yourselves and each other in the 5D, in the telepathic 5D level of shifting in the unknown world, in the hidden, like dimension where spirits lie. It's like they can see the shit out of this, and they're just like, there's no more we can help with. And it's like the essence and vibration of Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, is watching this and is like on the outskirts, kind of like allowing certain obstacles to come in, holding back certain obstacles, allowing it's like you're working the shit out of Ganesha, okay? Both of you. I don't even see who else is you're working this with. There's a lot of element of air and element of water here. Of course, the water would be your element, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements of air. These are the winged animals. 4 of them are birds, and 1 of them is the butterfly. But I see it in this picture as a moth. That's not even a fucking butterfly in your reading. It's a moth. And that is a guide of your most ancient ancestors. I feel a spiritual connection with older shamans. Okay, this may be for only very few of you. And that's why the bear is here. Because I keep wanting to try to get to this, right? You're like, what's that one you did? Because underneath all of that is the elephant one right there. It looks like Ganesha. I'll show you. Oh, and the hidden wisdom behind all this, because underneath Ganesha is the owl. And I have this in order ever since I actually tore these out of the book, because I wanted to put them up as like my energetic like fuel and remembrance of the energies I spiritually work with, that like physically kind of like 3D wise brought them themselves into illumination for their own meaning in my life and how to be able to read it. So, okay. So this is the Ganesha coming in really strong, working really hard on allowing things to come in and holding things back. Allowing things to come in and holding some things back. Allowing it to come in, holding some things back, okay? And granting you that hidden wisdom because of it, of the owl being underneath here too. And this is, if you see right here, there's this bear wearing crystals right here with the open eye over the heart chakra, like not even the third eye, but over the heart chakra, and really amplifying the lessons of understanding healing, understanding the depths of soul healing, understanding the depths of star-crossed love. People literally like may not even be in communication, but shifting to each other, not even battling each other, because two peacocks on a 3-dimensional level do that either to fight, or a fight between who's going to get a female, or to attract a female. This is shifted into a different level of a different level of spiritual essence of understanding, which makes it a little bit easier when it comes to heightened levels of enlightenment with animals. It's like spiritual animal working, really. And even though one may be a male, the other one may be a female, both of y'all have 2 aspects to yourself, which is also the male and female aspect, and the male and female aspect between both of you, because you're both leveling them out in a balance, so that, you know, when you come together, it's like this. It's like you're a teammate, but it's not one needs the other one for other aspect. It's just both of y'all are the the wave shift. And both of you can work in both because of the fact that, and you can go like this, and you can go like this, and you can go, just so you can do that, okay? But right now, it's like y'all are facing each other to become a team. And that's why you're throwing things at each other, because now you're going to see what you're doing with other people, but you're doing it between y'all because it's not going to create as much of a friction, even though it's going to create an overwhelming of a friction, the highest level of friction at the same time, but it's not going to, it's going to create more of a healing essence that is going to shift to a higher, even more higher level of healing and bring y'all closer together. Even though it shifts you this way, it's going to shift you to this, or technically this, where your backs are against each other, to where it's like there's nothing that neither of you will see. I mean, that nothing can come at you and kind of sneak up attack y'all. There ain't not a thing in this world that will be able to like sneak up on y'all. Or try to break you apart, or have the intent of doing that and befriend. It's like y'all are understanding how to do this in a way to where there will be no veil, because both of you are already beyond the veil. And no matter how much someone will have a veil, it's like the veil's not there, no matter how much they think the veil is there. No matter how much they think things are tricking and playing in their favor, y'all are already 10 steps ahead and just letting them be who they are at the same time, while you're initiating more of a subconscious healing pattern in them. I feel that's why y'all are alchemically, magically doing this on a whole nother level without having to really step into a magical way of art into this. Y'all are telepathically, magically shifting this cycle in, and that's why it's happening first for you and first for them, because you're going to be sending it outwards. No, okay, I love you, but yes, over there, thank you. And that's why I feel that every one of these crystals around the bear's neck is different. And it's a very heightened level of shifting like the spiritual wheel without doing it in the 3D world. Okay, well, Scorpio, we ended up using papers of animals, but we are already at 43 minutes. So if this really resonated with you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's great. Subscribing greatly improves the channel. Thank you so much. Please share on Facebook. You never know who else that could see this in your feed, that it will help them as well. When it comes to having to deal with possibly toxic situations and not understanding why they're having to go through it over and over again, and feeling as if it's maybe a discipline or like something negative that they're having to go through because they're not doing something right. Maybe that'll help them to kind of shift that view a little bit. So I greatly appreciate your love, support, and all your subscribes. If you would like to donate to my channel, the information for that is below, and I will see y'all next week, Scorpios. Have a wonderful day. Bye.